Anglia in the China region. I'm also head of computing. I teach computer science at the school. Okay. So today, what I wanted us to do is to have a session where we're going to talk about STEM or STEM, and STEM education, and most importantly, what are the benefits of it. Hopefully everyone can see the benefits, but also we're going to look at a couple of tools that, or what activities that we can easily organize for our students. Okay, whether it is you are in a primary school or early years or secondary school, the tool that we are going to have a look at will allow us easily to organize such activities. Okay. So, what are the benefits of the STEM? Well, one of the things that is quite common now is that there is really an abundance of career opportunities. STEM like now offer, like what you call it, a lot of high-paying career opportunities from engineering, computer science, almost all domain to healthcare research. STEM professionals are really looked after very well. So that's one thing that our students need to know. Problem solving and critical thinking skills. Okay, so that's inherent to STEM itself. STEM education allow students, or emphasize really, to give them critical thinking skills, analytical reasoning, and problem solving skills. Right. So those are the things that actually helps them a lot face new kind of problems. And finally, global impact and relevance. Okay, so with STEM education, actually, we have the possibility to tackle global challenges, right? We can literally be stemming creativity and internationalization of approaches, and students all together can actually work on what we call this SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay? So things like climate change, healthcare, sustainable development, all these are things that actually STEM can support or help students thrive into solving this kind of problem. Okay, making a positive impact in the society and in the world. So today, what I wanted us to have a look at is actually there is this platform that's called VexCode VR, and it is a platform that I stumbled across at the beginning of COVID, and that's the tool that I wanted us to explore together. Hopefully, you do have a device that will allow you to interact with it. We will find out. Okay. So, just out of interest, if you could just send a reaction, whether it is a thumb up or thumb down to indicate if you have used this platform before, that would be helpful. Or otherwise, just say yes in the chat or no in the chat. Okay, so just gonna give it a 30 seconds to see. Okay, cool. So that's okay. All right, so that means that we have at least some people who will be able to have a head up for this. Okay, so what is VexCode VR? Well, can you still see my screen, right? My PowerPoint? Yeah, okay, good. So VexCode VR is a platform with VR stands for virtual robot. Okay, so it's a virtual robot that we can use to organize, arrange activities that are STEM-based, right? So learning, for example, learning computer science or doing some robotics in school, but also at home with a virtual robot, because it is a virtual robot. We don't need actually the equipment yet. So why learning coding now? In coding really is a skill that actually is now developing like across multiple curriculum, right? So coding is a skill that is quite sought out. So that's one thing. Coding allows us also to explore the world around us, and it will bring down digital divide, because students actually start experiencing and understanding how this world where we have a lot of apps, how things work. Okay, so that's why it's quite important to expose our students or young learners to the coding part. So VexVR is, like you can see here, is just a virtual robot, okay, that is on a platform, and that students of all age can, what you call it, from nearly 5 years old, 4+, I would say, up to your sixth former, everyone should be able to work with it, okay? Now, in the VR.com platform, which I will type here in the link into the chat so that you can actually head there and then have a go, just to make sure that you have access to the platform. Give me a minute, I'm going to share with you the link to the VexVR code. Okay, there we go. VR.vex.com. So it's the link is in the chat. If you could load it, then we will be able to have a look at the robot itself. Okay, so on the virtual robot, we have also what we call virtual playground and then a live dashboard. Okay, so Vex, VR.vex.com. So you can see it here at the top, but it's also in the chat. So let's go to the next one. I want to show you the virtual robot itself. So this robot is the one that we can see here operating in the playground here, has several what we call a sensor. So you can see that here we have an electromagnet, a down eye, a pen, and then we have a gyroscope and location sensing. We have bumpers, left and right bumpers that are set on the actual robot. Okay, so the virtual playground. So first of all, maybe what we're going to do right now, we're going to try to go to VexVR and then play a little bit with the platform itself. So I stop sharing and then I will switch onto my VexVR, my browser. Hopefully you can see my browser here. Okay, so when you load the actual platform, you should land into a website like this one. Okay, now if you are familiar with a language that is called Scratch, then you will see that actually it is very, very much like Scratch. Okay, so here what do we have? We have actually the some command here that we have what we can use to interact with a robot, and then we have the command that are categorized into groups of command, color-coded. We're going to have a look at it in a minute. On the top here, we have what we call the playground. So if I select the playground here, I can look at the free ones, right? So this platform is free. So most of the resources are free. There are some that are paid, but we're just going to look at the free ones. So for example, here we have the art canvas, the castle crusher, the coral reef. So we have a few playground that we can use. So if I select the art canvas, then I can load it. So, and then you can see that here, it's the canvas here where we have the robot in the center here, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at how to operate this robot. So for example, when we start, we say here when we start, what we could do is we could, for example, drive forward for 200 millimeter, okay? So all we need to is a block base. So all you need to is to drag and snap the block. You can change the unit if you want to. For example, 400. And then we can actually test this straight away. So I am going to click on the start button here. And when I click on start, the robot will move for 400 millimeter. Okay, so this is one way to actually have robotics lessons or classes or activities without the actual physical robot. Okay? There are many advantages to it. One of the most important advantage is that actually, in terms of costs, it's not only free, but you don't have to buy the robot itself. What you can do is have all the skills that to be able to program a robot, and then you can later on take the code and just download it onto the robot itself. Okay, so for budgetary reason, it is quite a very efficient way to actually manipulate or have robotics classes inside your curriculum without paying anything, right? So when I stop, okay, I can reset. And then again, I can then say, for example, right now, what I want to is after I drive forward for 400 millimeter, I want to be able to turn right and then drive forward for 200 millimeter. And then again, turn right. So we can test it. Okay. And then we need to stop. So if I turn right, what I want to be able to do is actually drive forward again for 400 millimeter. Turn right again. So that I am almost back to my drive forward 200 millimeter. And then when I get there, I could turn right again one more time and then stop driving. So here we have a full program where we have operated our virtual robot to be able to drive in a rectangular. Oops, wait a minute. Stop, we need to reset it. Okay, so we're going to drive forward for 400 millimeter, and then we're going to turn right, drive forward, turn right, drive forward, and then again turn right, drive forward, and then turn right. Let's try this again. So we're going to reset and start. So 400 millimeter, we need to be able to turn. Oh, that's the thing that we're gonna try to see. Maybe I'm going to size it down to 200 and then let's see what we will have as a square. Okay, so reset, run. Okay, so right now we're gonna stop again, reset, and then hit right. Okay. I think that the browser is lagging here. Out of what you call it, interest, if in the chat, could you please let me know if you managed to actually load this, and then if you run it, what is happening on your end? Anyone? How is it behaving? Yep. Good. Okay, that's probably a good one. Thank you, Cornelio. It is still stopping. Okay. Reset. How's it behaving, everyone? Anyone has had a go? Okay. So in the, let's just have a look at the playground. So the different playground allows you to build different activities, right? So if I go ahead and select another playground, let's say the castle versus, or let's go for the dynamic wall maze. Okay. So in the dynamic wall maze, we should be able to here to see that we have different, here we have the robot, you can see, right? And then we could actually program it to navigate this maze, right? So again, probably we want to turn right to see if this is gonna work. Run. Okay, so it turns right. So we could be able to turn right for a certain number of degrees. So let's go ahead and then reset. Okay, and then maybe go drive forward for 200 millimeter, drive forward. So let's reset. In this case, actually, we will have to change the order. You can see, because I want to be able to drive 200 millimeter and then maybe turn right for 90 degrees. So let's try that. Okay. Okay. So again, these are kind of activities that we can quickly set up and the student can engage with it. Now, the good thing about Vex Code is that actually it has a lot of tutorials, built-in tutorials. So again, when you click on the top here, you can access the tutorial. And these are what you call it videos. So for example, getting started tool, where you have instruction to tell you exactly what every part of the interface does, okay? And then it tells you, guides you through all the steps that you need to be able to actually do your activity, okay? So all these are available for free, okay? We also have a Learn tool. Now the Learn tool is also, again, some activities that are available for teachers. Okay, so these are for teachers. We have the VEX Code VR activities, and here you have everything like set up as a curriculum. There are Google documents that you can open and then just use and build your activities. Okay, this one is quite simple, easy, right? And then we have block activities, the one that I was showing just now. And then moving forward, we can even start coding with Python. Okay, so if it is, and all this, by the way, is free. So there is no cost associated with using the VexVR platform, at least for the vast majority of the actual activities. Okay. Now, on the robot itself, the other thing that you can see here is the different view that you have. So, for example, if I use this view, it gives me the camera that is mounted in front of the actual robot. Okay, I can have a view from top, and also I can have a view from sideways. Okay, so that gives the student also or the learner a good view of where they are and how they are going to go through this maze. So you can interact with it, you can have a look, zoom and see exactly where your robot is, and then you can work out how to do this. Okay, so I'm going to close here the playground, and then I am going to try to get back quickly to my presentation so that we can have a look at the actual tool that are available there. So we had a look at the robot itself, the virtual robot. Now let's have a look at the playground. Okay, so the virtual playground are there for you to set up an activity and get through different maze. Okay, so you can see that here we have the grid maze, art canvas, disc maze. So all these are free. We have paid one, but those are if you are really interested into, you can become get to the paid version of the platform. But I used it a lot. We use it a lot here at North Anglia, and we don't use the paid version because we don't need to. However, we do have, in the end, the actual robot. Okay. So coding anytime, anywhere. So that means that your students do not have to be in school to code, because they can do it at home. There is no physical, there's no need of a physical robot, so they can do it at home. They can do it in 3 ways, like I said, blocks. We can also view the commands into Python viewer, so it's just, or we can, when they are very experienced, for example, in year 10, year 11, they should be able to actually code it directly using the code editor. Okay. So here you can see, here we have the block, and then next to it, we have the code viewer, which shows us the command that are in the Python language. All this is part of the platform itself. So the blocks are given here, like you can see, the block with a Python viewer, and then the interface directly with the command. Here you can see the commands are actually commands that are from the Python language, but set up for a robot, for robotics. Okay. If you have classes, you can set up your own classes in the VEX Code VR, and then it's just like a Google Classroom. You can share you can share code with your class, and it's quite simple, very, very easy to set up. Okay. Here, the advantage again is that it's easy to use. because everything is in the web, and also it is very similar to, because it's a block-based activity, young learners should be able to actually just to explore very quickly by drag and drop. Okay. Immediate feedback. What I mean here is that students will be able to see in real time the action of their code, right? So they can see the robot, for example, turning around. There is no time spent into setting up. Okay. There are rarely errors into the code. The only time that I saw errors is, for example, when the platform hasn't loaded properly or it is lagging a little bit. Okay. And finally, the learning is visible. Okay, so that's the other thing, is like, because you are right now in front of a virtual robot where everything that you do, it updates automatically, right? So you can use the sensor to see what things are happening. For example, you can use the camera, you can use the bumper, and when you hit an obstacle, automatically it is highlighted. Okay? So that's the three main takeaway that I experienced while using VexVR code. Okay. Last, what I wanted to talk about is actually, so here we have the different level, but we have here in VexVR, when you do sign up, right, an account for free, you should be able to access different lessons, right? So you have Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, all the way to Unit 9. Okay. Each unit is probably about 4 to 5 lessons that you can set up. So it's either you can set it up as a in your classroom, or you can set it up, for example, for after school activities. Yeah. Yes, Cornelio, like you say, how did the teacher in pre-K kindergarten initiate this activity? Usually, that's what it is. We do it into either an after-school activity, right? So the student can join that, and usually we have because this, when you are in the interface, right? You have A4. You can download A4 PDF with the instruction themselves, so that the solution can be just sent home or given to the student, so that, or on display, so that they can follow the instruction. It's all very, very straightforward inside the platform. Okay, I'll try to show it to you in a minute. So the curriculum itself is set up. So if you follow them, what happened is that actually you scaffold the learning of your student. They learn to code. They learn to interact with a virtual robot. And by the end of, let's say, Unit 5, they have already started doing really a lot with the robot. Okay, so that's what happened there. So the same with Python. Okay, for Python, that's a little bit what I use it usually with the key stage 4, which is let's say late year 9, year 10, year 11. Okay, so because that's part of our computer science curriculum. And then again, we have a lot of activities. If you go to education.vex.com, by the way, all these links are available when after this lesson, after this webinar, I'm going to share the PowerPoint, and then you can have a click and go and have a look by yourself. Like you can see here, in this activity, you can filter, right? Different activity could be something that is advanced. The basketball drill is quite good, for example, program the robot to move back and forward, right, at various distances. We have activities that support mathematics, literacy, okay? So for example, here, cross every number, right? So the actual playground itself is numbered, and then you can instruct your student, for example, to drive from 22, 32, all the way to 72, and then turn right to reach 80. So students can actually learn mathematics or arithmetics, then numbers through using the robot. So it makes it really, really easy. And then you can see here, it's all set up. Okay. The challenge is level 1, level 2, level 3. All these are part of the lesson resources. Okay. And then maybe the most exciting part for me would be the actual certification course. So as a teacher, for free, I recommend, for example, for us in our school, I recommend everyone who wants to join or to do this course, right? It is free. It's a certification course. It's approximately 17 hours to complete the whole course, but you don't have to do it in one go. You do it bits by bits, right? And it takes you actually through every single steps. Okay, so you can see that it's a total of 10 units with VexCode VR Educator course. And at the end of it, you have an assessment that you can take anytime. So once you finish everything, it's about 1 hour. It reviews all the skills that you have learned, and you get a certificate. A certificate as certified VxCode VR educator. Okay, so that's really for me the plus, because what happened is that you can use that certificate to demonstrate or to claim that you are able to operate a virtual robot from VxCode. Okay, so that's the bonus. All the teachers that want in our school, usually I set them on this course. They just register. All you need to do is go to certification.vex.com, and then you follow the lesson, right? So for example, unit 1 is 1 hour, 15 minutes. It's 11 lessons. You can pause at any time. So you're going to start learning about each part of the robot itself, right? And then moving on to how to move your robot and look at repeating behavior and so on and so forth. So it's a really, really detailed and exciting course that I would recommend anyone to do. And it's free. Now, not only that they have the VexVR code certification, but if you happen to have the actual robot themselves, then again, there are a lot of training that you can go through. Okay. Again, here we have the VEX 1, 2, 3. That's for early years, kindergarten, really. VEX Go. So that's another type of robot also, which is the primary school. VEX IQ, which is for secondary school. And then we have this D5. D5, it's almost high school level, right? It's metal. It's that's something that you can have a look. Okay, but I would recommend everyone here to try and do this certification, right? So it's online, it is free, you get to know it, and then it builds your confidence. You have everything that you need to be able to actually teach robotics using a virtual robot. Okay, so that's really about the VexVR robot. If you have questions, it's good time maybe to just send me some question and I can answer it. If not, I'm just going to go back quickly to the VexVR website. So I'm going to share my browser again and show you a little bit around. So let's have a look here. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen now. Okay. And then here, if you see, again, like I say, when we go to learn here, which is educationvex.com, we have access to all the different activities. that we can look at. Okay, so let me just resource and solution. That's something that is quite helpful, resources and solution, because like I say, Cornelia, you want to be able to actually it's all set up really. It's like, for example, even to be able to email it, if you have the email ready, you just click and it opens your email. Okay, so if you look at the spacing guides, for example, here, if I go to PDF here, I'm just going to open it quickly so that you have a look. Okay, so I'm going to zoom a little bit so that I hope you can see this, right? So you can see every unit. You can see the description of the unit and the concepts that are covered, right? Going forward, reverse, movement, turning, and it gives you the estimated time. And then when you click on it, it actually gets you to the lesson itself. So you can see the lesson here. You will have I'm not sure if the sound is. So you can see it's quite detailed, and it's you have built-in video that allows you actually to do it on your own. But also, if you put it on the screen, right, every student can look at it, replay, and so on. So it's quite easy to set up. Okay. So again, each lesson has exactly everything, right? And then it walks you through all, and it provides the actual solution to the challenge, right? So that you're not left alone trying to figure out what works or doesn't work. Okay, so it's really a matter of they support us, support you to be able to do this. Okay, so all this is available here. You have standard methods. These are again standard that are mapped to whether you are running a curriculum. So let's say the national curriculum for the UK or the US curriculum, it gives you international resources, so and so on. You have quiz, exam, question, challenges, everything is there, right? So again, all we do is just follow the guide. And if you do happen to do the certification, all this is explained during the actual course. So you have access to them. Okay? So that's the thing that is on the learn part. Again, we had to look at the tutorial. You can learn very quickly how to use storing data, driving forward and backward. Everything is explained there quite neatly. And at the beginning of each of them, you have so you can see that one of the great things about this platform is that actually it gives you and your student an example of what is the outcome, what is it that you are working towards. So that's make really things visual. A student, when they start learning and see exactly what they are aiming for, it makes learning meaningful. It makes learning what you call purposeful, right? So that's what I really like with it. You have the tutorial, and then the instructions are broken down for you, and it's quite easy to follow. Okay, so that's the two-part tutorial and learn. That allows you to very quickly work toward this. One takeaway that I had using this one is that it did, especially when you are with the younger one, there are things that a virtual robot can enhance, is that the flow of your lesson, the flow of learning, right? The pace. Why? Because when it is a physical robot, there is time spent assembling the robot. There is time spent charging the robot. There are sometimes battery issues. Sometimes some connections are not made properly, and also a lot of friction, right? So because it is a physical object. So with younger learner, it kind of becomes a little bit frustrating sometimes when they're trying to operate some robots, and then, for example, it is not charged fully, and they don't realize it, and they think that it doesn't work. They think that it's them who do not know how to do it. While with the virtual robot, there is nothing like that. So when we say 200 millimeter, it will actually just move for 200 millimeter because it's virtual, right? It's not something that is physical. So that's really when the where I have seen the biggest advantage. There is less frustration for the student, even the older one, because sometimes the older one forget that actually when you put something on a carpet, right, there is a little bit of friction, and that's physics, right? That is just normal. So it will not drive exactly for the distance that you want to. Okay, so that's really the main advantage of a virtual robot. You can use it anywhere. You can use it in home, at school. The robot itself behaves the same. And in terms of STEM, there is really, really a big advantage of it because it's one of the skills that our student could do with, especially for the future, right? Knowing how robots operate, how they can pick up, how sensors work very early might be something that is invaluable in the future. Okay, so that's the bulk of the what I wanted to show you in terms of the tools that are quite quick to set up. I'm just checking if there is anything in the. Oh, welcome. So, okay, I'm happy that Cornelius, that you are going to explore it. It's really, once you start it, you will see that it's quite easy to use, but moreover, Vex has set up resources that are really, really easy to use so that you can very quickly first get certified yourself so that you have that edge, and then use it effectively inside your classroom. Okay, I am going to again share quickly my screen, presentation document, and then I'm going to just talk about quickly the microbit. This is another tool that actually I also use, which is quite useful. It is a microcomputer, like you can see here, that is programmable. But again, it is something that we do virtually, right? So there is a virtual part, and on the resources, microbit.org, you have everything that you need to use. You have the get started, that gets you started. You have the project, which is quite cool. And so the projects are kind of self-taught, in a video for your learner to be able to learn. So if you are interested into it, that would be the next thing that I would look at. And then finally, I'm just going to talk about a few things that we've done in the past, which is the MIT hack too. So Nord is very close collaboration with MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and we've learned from them to be makers, right? So there is something that happened at MIT that is quite interesting, is that what we call hack the tube. And what is it? It is actually student being given challenges to work out and change a paper towel tube, right? So you get a tube, it's just a paper tube, and then we give you the challenge, for example, to make it roll, for example, or to hack it so that it can transport water. Okay, so those are the small STEM challenges that we do, and I just wanted to say that I will wanted to share the video that actually it came from when MIT students are accepted. When MIT accept a student, what they do, they send you, let me just open it here. They send you a letter of admission saying that, welcome, you've been accepted to MIT, right? And you can see the tube here, right? The tube. So when they do that, inside the tube, they also give you challenges to complete. So each student, when they come, they have to complete a challenge first before they come on the first day of school. Okay, so let's have a look at. Let me know if you can hear it, so that.
There's no sound.
Yeah? You can't hear it.
No sound, but it's
No
we
sound.
just see the video, but there's no sound.
Okay, so it is embedded in there. I just wanted to maybe. Okay, I'll just play the video and then hopefully when I share it. So he's just saying that I'll do the thing that he received a letter for admissions, and inside it they say that they'll have a special gift, and there are 2 rolls of paper that are there inside the tube. And there is a challenge. So there are activities that they have to solve. It's a puzzle. With some instruction on the top. And he's saying that actually, again, it might look like that the paper is curved, but actually it is not. It's just the line that, the way that they are drawn, that makes you feel that actually the paper is curved, right? And then on the top here, we have a few challenges. And literally, when they come at admission, the first day when they come into MIT, they have to present the solution to that challenge. Just to say that I cracked the challenge. So similarly, that's what we do at school. Every year, we try to organize what we call a Hack the Tube challenge. And then it is very simple. Huh? We just say that to the student that they need to be creative. They need to be able to use, let's say, a tube, a plastic tube, sorry, a paper tube, and let's say 2 balloons, and then make it fly. It's up to them how they have to do it. They have 2 or 3 weeks to do it, and they have given time where they can come and ask some questions. Okay, for example, can I use rope on it, or can I put some soda so that it has pressure, so that it make it move? And then we just tell them what is acceptable and what is not. Okay, so this is a kind of a very low cost but very creative way to engage learners into a STEAM or STEM activity. Okay, so that's it for me. I hope that it's been helpful, useful. Hopefully, some people will be able to review the presentation itself and then have a go.